That's what God told John in Revelation 4. He said, come up here. That's what He's telling to Aglow International. Come up here, and I'll show you things to come. The great work to be done. And your latter days are greater than they were before. Come up here and see an open door. Give you the nations as your inheritance. Did I not tell you before? I'll give the nations as your inheritance. Did I not tell you years ago? Give the nations as your inheritance. I'll give the nations as your inheritance. For now, Deborah and Barak are uniting. For I show you a mystery. Deborah and Barak will walk together. And I'll keep the promise. I'm a promise keeper. And Deborah and Barak will walk together. They'll take back the land again. They'll take back the land again. They'll take back the land again. You know why? They ride the wind. They ride the wind. They ride the wind. They ride the wind. Come up here. It's an open door. And I will show you things to come. The great work to be done. You'll not go to the left or the right. You'll arise and shine. The greatest works upon you now. And I'll take these sparks. I'll blow them in my hand. The wind. They'll ride the wind. For the wind blows where it listed to come and goes. I'll take you before thrones, kings, parliaments, and judges. Take no thought in that hour when you say, we prophesy this day to this ministry. Come on, let's intercede for a moment, could you? Nations are in the balance, as you know. I think American conferences have become so trivial. You know, we just kind of march in and march out. A conveyor belt Christianity. A laundry list of speakers, and it's become so generic. No wonder Jesus marched into the synagogue and turned over tables, and maybe they were registration tables they turned over. I don't know what He turned over. If He lived in this day, He probably would turn over a few of those too. A few book tables in the corner maybe. But you can hear His cry. He said, my house is a house of prayer for all nations. See? Let me tell you why He was lifted up. So He could see. You got to be lifted up to see. You got to go up. You can't stay down here, man. I hear the words of Colossians. Set your affections on things above. Set your Heart on things above, not on things of the earth, where Christ sits at the right hand of God. For you are dead, your life is hid in Christ, and Christ in God. And He'll give you eyes to see England. In this darkest hour, God will give you eyes to see England. And pray. Pray for deliverance as the dark clouds cover that nation. But in its darkest hour, in its economic distress, its time of testing, revival will come again to the ancient streets, cobbled lanes of England. The voice of Spurgeon, Wesley. Reformation will come again, and don't you know you're related to that, America? They say where California goes, so goes America. I got a different word for you. Where England goes, so goes America. Pray for her. Cast your net on the other side. You'll take in a great catch. And the ships that sail now will not be enslaved. But the ships that now sail from England will bring my liberty, as they were always intended to do. Somewhere in the dark oceans of circumstance, their hearts were turned. But now I will turn them again. And I will give you favor in England. Great favor in that country. People of another skin and another color will go there. The greatest cathedrals will be open to you. You'll speak a word that they've been waiting to hear for 300 years. And you'll prophesy of a day of visitation. An hour of reckoning. And the enemy's devices, you'll not be ignorant of. He'll not take advantage of you, England. Look to South Africa. Look to South Africa. For there's a man still alive that prays there. There's a man still alive that prays. From a prison to a parliament, I brought him. We speak to you, Mandela, today. You shall see a Simeon and Anna. You shall see a victory in your nation. Your days are not over. These last 3 years that you'll see now, in the years to come, you will see the revival on the Ivory Coast. What the devil has meant for evil. And you'll find an ally with England, South Africa. You'll find an ally where you least expect it. You'll find a Jonathan in Saul's house. And he'll fight for you, South Africa. He'll lay his life down for you, and his arrows will shoot straight. There'll be no guile or deception. Watch South Africa now. For she's the key of the continent. Hear the word of the Lord. She's the key of the continent. She's their anchor. The wind will blow now. Fill their sails with hope. And a man's prayer will be answered. You know God answers one man's prayer. He'll answer an Abraham. Oh Lord, if there be 10, would you spare us? Lord, if there be 5. And I tell you, that man is an Abraham, and he will not die unfulfilled. Watch these things closely. Thank you for prophecy, Lord. Thank you for intercession and prayer. Thank you for taking us higher. Thank you that we can be the prayer of David. Ask of me and I'll give the heathen as your inheritance. The uttermost parts of the earth as your possession. Don't you know that's why you were born? Don't you know that's why you exist? In your current state